5000 and Mongo. Did you run the server? Just write the command root server.js. Just tell me if you people get the message that the server is running on the port and going to the as well as it is also providing Mongo to be connected. How many of you got the output in the console? Raise your hands, maybe two. I get technical error. We just got the output. So we will, what will we do after running the server? All right, it in layer minutes. So after getting this connected to my MongoDB, what we do? We go to the Postman, and over here I will add HTTP localhost. Then I'll write my port number, that is 5000, and then I'll provide the API, then auth, and then register. And I'll make a post it because I'm posting my things, right? I'll go to the raw option. Over here, what I have to do is I'll provide the values for all the fields that I have mentioned in my schema. That is, I'll go into the user.js, and here I've provided the fields, that is username, email, password, as well as role. So the username itself is Nitin. The email is Nitin 784510 @ After that, my password will be 78. Finally, the role will be admin. Now, I will send this. User registered successfully. Raise your hands. How many of you are getting this here? Just rate. None of you got the output of what? Hello. Am I audible? Database is not connected. I have told you people in the previous class, right? Make it sure that you receive your Mongo URI. If you do not have your Mongo URI, then how will you be able to work with the MongoDB? The connection will not get established. Na? Do you people have Postman? Yeah. How to get URL? See, Vinod, while writing the API, we have provided our endpoints as well as the port number, isn't it? Hello. So what do you see in the URL? That is, you are able to see that here, since it is a secure URL, for that we are having S over here. But we do not have our URL secure while testing in the Postman, which is why we will write HTTP only. And then we will mention our localhost keyword. After that, it will be followed by our port number, that is 5000, which we written in our previous class. Then we will provide the API SC. We have mentioned in the server.js file, right? For authentication, we are having this API. That is, the localhost 5000 will be followed by /API /auth, and then what we wrote? We wrote auth routes. If I'll go to this, so for register, we are having this API, that is /register. And if we want to log in, so for that, we are having this API, that is #login. Similarly, if we want to check the role-based access, what we have over here API and then protected. After protected, we are having protected routes. So when I go over here, after protected, if the role is admin, then we have to provide this API, and if the role is user, then we have to provide this API endpoint. Vinod, I want your response. Alright. So this is how I registered a user. And then,
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I am at starting level, ma'am.
Right. So you do not have your Mongo URI as well as Postman?
Yeah, ma'am.
You have it, but you don't.
No, ma'am, I have not.
So did you write yesterday's code, Vinod?
Yeah, ma'am. I write entry level only, server launch.
Okay. So make it sure that you write all the APIs for login, register as role-based access.
Ma'am, 1 minute. Let present my screen, ma'am. I'll get out some error terminal.
What kind of error are you getting? Just copy paste it in the chat box.
Okay.
So till here we have registered our user, and then in order to log in, we'll have to provide the email, and then also we'll have to provide the password. So we will cut the username and then role, and we will change the API endpoint from register to login. And how many of you can tell me what will happen if I send this login request? What will happen after that? Firstly, Vinod, what did you do is that you have written the wrong spelling of
Ma'am, which is wrong?
node1, and check if the node1 is present inside your package.json file. Checks for user exists or not. Vamshi, this will be checked when I will provide the API endpoint. But what will happen if I log in the user? The very first thing that is going to happen. A token will get generated, isn't it? So let me send this request. See, we are getting a token generated. So what we have to do, we will copy this entire token, and then we will go to the authorization. And under the key, we have to write authorization. And then in the value, we have to write bearer, and then we have to paste the token. After that, what I will do, I will change the method into get, and then I will change the API endpoint from auth to I will change it as protected, and then from login I will provide admin. And now I will send my request. So just tell me, why did I provide bearer as well as token? And then during the previous class, I have told you people some concepts regarding it, right? Tell me what were they? Like some array or something. Does anyone remember? Guys, you have to be responsive in the class while I'm teaching you people. If you people are not going to respond with anything, then you have to face the consequence during the evaluation, which will eventually affect your stipend as well.
No, ma'am, not remember.
The token stores in the first index of the array. Not exactly, Steffi. The token is stored in the second index of the array. The first index, bearer keyword will be stored, and in the second index, the token will be stored. Which is why the array is very this one, isn't it? So 0 is for the bearer and 1 is for the token. Am I clear? Okay. So let's check in our MongoDB if our data is exactly there or not. I'll open my MongoDB campus. Request with name Nitin, isn't it? So here the username is Nitin, and then email is Nitin, and this one. And yesterday, like we have written our code with hashed password. So this password got hashed and stored in the hashed form only. And the role of Nitin is admin. Are people able to see?
Ma'am, your screen is not visible.
The screen is not visible.
It's visible.
Okay. So you.
It's visible, ma'am.
Okay. So to whom it's not visible? All right. It's still taking time. And if this successfully gets the request, then over here we'll get the message welcome admin. So did you people completely understood yesterday's code, or are there any doubts with you people? Or do you want me to explain that code again? So why didn't you people ask your doubt in yesterday's class only? That means you people are having doubts in that code. As I'll not scold you people if you ask me your doubt. In fact, I am telling you people to ask your doubt so that all will get cleared for that thing. So for today, if I am explaining the code and you people are not getting at any point, just stop me then and there and ask me, ma'am, why is it so? Am I clear? So moving to our server.js file, which is the very entry point for backend, right? So whatever packages we have inside the main directory, that is b3s3. So in order to check all the packages, we have to go to the package.json. Over here, inside the dependencies, we have all these packages installed. That is bcrypt, cors, express, json web token, mongoose, and node1. So bcrypt, as I've already told you people in the previous class, is used to hash our password, right? And its methods such as hash are used to hash the password along with the JSON. Now coming on to the cors. As I've already told you people, say for example, your system is known as a client, and in whichever system you are sending some request is known as the server, right? And that server has some kind of access permissions. And if that server permits the client in order to send the request, then only the client is able to send the request from the client to the server. So that entire thing is handled by the cors. And cors is the middleware of the Express framework. Now, Express framework is used to manage the routing that we are sending from the client to the server. Am I clear till here? Am I clear? Okay. And JSON Web Token. So the JSON Web Token is a token which gets generated when we make the login request, right? And then we have our mongoose, which is used to connect our, which is the dependency, which is used to connect our MongoDB with our Node.js. And Node1, can anybody tell me why do we use Node1? Any idea is there with you people? I guess no idea is there. Writing this server.js, we can also write as node server.js for avoiding unwanted rendering. Okay. Say for example, we are not writing node1 server.js. Yeah, exactly, Kiran. For instant update. Suppose I will make any kind of change inside any file. Say for example, I have written only mongoos, and then I saved it. I am able to see it saved, and I am receiving the error. This is what the function of node1 is. And if I will write E and then again I will save it, it is getting saved and it is saying server is running on port 5000. After that, we will see the server.js. Here what I have done, all the files as well as modules are required to be here inside this file. Otherwise, you will not be able to access all these files, and then your backend will not provide you with the output that you want. So we have to use .json and then cors. Got it? And then also we have to mention the routes inside our server. Listen function is used in order to print server is running on port, and then the port number to ensure that our server is running. Doubt over here? Any doubt at any line of the code? Ma'am, can you please tell me when will be the Java batch start, because the issue was absent in the lecture. Akash, the Java batch will start shortly. And we were planning to start the very first session of Oops in Java by today. But as I have seen that many of you are having doubts in the previous class, that's why I started explaining that.
Ma'am,
So I can assume that you people are not having any doubt in the server.js file, isn't it? So Steffi, just answer me. Why are we writing .env require.env.config? Why do we write it? I've asked something, Steffi. So as all of you know that we will store all the confidential data inside our .env file. So in order to access those data, we need this config function, which is why we write at first we import the .env module and then we accompany that with our config method. Now moving on to the db.js. Here what are we doing? We are connecting our Node.js with the MongoDB. And then we are mentioning a variable connectDB, which is having the exact function as well as the logic, right? To connect our Node.js with the MongoDB. Here, you have to remember two things. That is the use new URL logic. These are the keywords which are not currently used, or you people can use it as well. In order to use it to connect to our MongoDB. Once you have provided this Mongo URI as the first parameter, and then you have made these keywords as true, then you people can say that MongoDB got connected. Otherwise, it will provide you with the error message. And now we are getting user.js. So inside these models, we will store our schema of the database. So whenever I'll open my MongoDB Compass or my database, over there, what I will be able to find? I will find my username, then I'll find email, then password as well as the role. And since I have written timestamps as true, you people can see that we are getting. Let me show you. Okay, I'll tell you people once I create these things. See, are you people able to see created at as well as updated at? Is this visible? Yeah. So,
Yes, ma'am.
you think? Okay, so that is exactly what the work of timestamp is. If we mention timestamp over there, we will get the created at as well as updated at keywords, which will represent the time and date of when the data got created and when the data got updated. We are exporting the entire schema using module.exports, and then inside this model function, what we are doing, we are providing a variable that is user to this function that is user schema, so that whenever we have to access this entire schema, we have to write user dot any kind of method that we use in order to manipulate these datas. Did I make my point clear to all of you? Okay. Now I will go to my authroutes.js. So here, as I have told you people, we require a couple of things. That's bcrypt in order to hash the password, and then I will also require JSON web token when I will log in inside the website. So in order to register ourselves within a website, we require our username, email, password, and role. So why have I written request.body? Because as you people see today, I have provided in the body the username, email, password, and role in the body only, right? What if there are more than two roles? Okay, Steffi. So if there are more than two roles, what you have to do is you will go to a user.js, and inside this enum, you have to provide a comma and then mention another role, such as technician. See, we can provide as many roles that is possible. Are you clear, Steffi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will take all these data from the body. And then what we have to do, we have to hash the provided password that is provided by the user. And how do we hash that? We have to use the hash function of the bcrypt module. And inside the hash function, we have to pass the provided password by the user. And then we have to mention the salt value. And now you will ask me, ma'am, what is salt value? So that salt value is ranges from 5 to 15. So the higher your salt value will be, the more hashed your password is going to be. More strongly it will get hashed. And can anyone tell me why do we hash our passwords? Any rough idea? Yeah, Virendra, tell. Okay. So yeah, security encrypted. So whenever the hacker will try to hack our password, so for that it has to face some kind of issues. Why? Because it has to face some kind of issues because our password will remain hashed over there. So it will not be directly accessible to the hacker. So for that only, in order to make our data, that is our confidential data, more secure, we hash our passwords. And then after hashing the password, we will create the new user inside the mongoose by providing it the username, email, password, that is hashed password, and then the role. Now it will get saved using the save function. And after saving the user, it will provide us with the message that is user registered successfully. We got this exact message now in the JSON format while we registered the user. So otherwise, it will provide the status code that is 500. This is what this is how we register a user inside a website. And then coming on to the login part. Now for login, we require a couple of things, that is email as well as the password. And then at first it will check whether the email is already registered in the website. So for that, it has to access the schema, the entire schema, or the data that is present inside the MongoDB. So in order to find the email, we use this function that is find one. And then inside the find one function, we provide our required field that we need to find inside the database. And if the email is found, let us see, if not user, if the email is not found, or else await bcrypt.compare. And now compare is another function of the bcrypt module, which compares the password that is already stored inside the database and with the password that is provided by the user while logging in into the website. So if both does not occur, then it will provide the user with invalid credentials, which you forget your password. This is a very usual thing that happens. And after that, what we have done, we have written jwt.sign. Inside this sign function, we have mentioned the ID of the user and then the role of the user. This is the very first parameter inside this sign function. And now, in order to provide the JWT token, we also require our JWT secret key, right? Which we have also seen yesterday that you can have any kind of JWT secret key. And finally, as a third parameter, we have provided expire sin. So what is this expire sin stands for? So this expire sin provides the exact time or day up till which your token is valid, and after that your token gets expired. So if you do not want your token to get expired, you can also mention a keyword that is ignore expiration. So this is how we remove the expiration of our keyword. And then after logging in, it will provide with the created token in a JSON format. And if any error occurs, it will display error login in. Am I clear? So Shubham, this is the work of those hackers. Got it? Once you hash your password, you'll not be able to know what your password was.
No, I just wanted to ask, like, on that MongoDB Compass only, like, where the data is stored, it's showing in hacked format.
Okay, so you do not want your password to be stored in a hashed format, right? So for
No,
that,
no,
what you have to do,
actually, no. Suppose like we have stored the password in hacked format only, and like if
yeah,
we forgot the password, like so, like what's the way to watch that password? Like if you go to Mongo, it will show that hash password only. So
yeah. So for
like,
that, you have to,
yeah,
you can't see your old password. You have to update the password using put request in the postman.
okay,
Got it, Shubham? Because once the password gets hashed, the work that is the work of the hacker to decrypt it. We are encrypting it, right?
yes, yes,
So decryption is the part of the hacker.
okay.
Yeah. Got it up till here? Any further doubts? Cannot find module JSON Web Token. So Harshit, what you have to do is you have to install this JSON Web Token. This command, that is npm install JSON Web Token. You have to run this command in your terminal, and once it gets installed, you have to go to your package.json file and check if it exists over there. After that comes our protected route.js. So here what we have did, let's go at first the auth middleware. Here what we are requiring only the JSON Web Token. Let's see how is it working. So at first I want the header authorization. So in header, authorization has to be there, right? And then we will check if the auth header, if the authorization starts with the very first keyword, that is bearer. If it is not starting with bearer, then it will show access denied, no token provided. So whenever you are providing the token, it is okay, ma'am, it's working all right. So whenever you are providing the token, it is very necessary for you people to provide the bearer keyword before the token. So it is checking this thing only. And then once the token is received, it will split it into two parts. And as I have told you people, that the bearer keyword will get stored in the very first index, and the main token will get stored in the second index, that is the 1, right? After that, it will verify. So this entire thing is verification of our token. So at first, it will get the token, and then it will take the JWT secret. After that, if any error occurs, it will say JWT verification error, or else it will take the user as user only. This is how the JWT authentication is done, whether the token is authenticated is getting authorized, right? So here we have placed a condition or request.role is not is equal to role. So you have to provide the role from the role that we have mentioned in our database, that is user or the admin, or else this error will get occurred, that is forbidden insufficient privileges. And then finally, we are exporting both of our functions. Now going to our protected.js. So here, after exporting those functions, we are importing those functions inside this protected.js. And if the user provides the endpoint as admin, then it will provide the admin. And if the provider if the user provides his endpoint as user, then it will provide the message as welcome user. Bearer is compulsory worksheet. Without bearer, split and JSON, like some methods are builds. I'm not being able to understand your query, Vinod.
The split method or build method are not user defined method.
Can you repeat again? Your voice got in between.
Ma'am, this split method is showing, right?
Yeah.
Split method, JSON method. This is build method or user defined method.
These are the built-in methods, Vinod.
Yeah, ma'am. That's asking to.
Yeah, these are the built-in methods.
Yeah.
And how many of you want the Java development? I guess if people were asked in the group to provide your names who are interested in the Java development.
Ma'am, it's in MERN stack, right?
What stack what?
Ma'am, these applications are building MERN stack, right? First class you said we are going to MERN stack.
Yeah.
And it's option like MERN stack or Java and Spring Boot.
Yeah, you people can study both of them depending upon your interest. So tell me, how many of you do have any idea about the OOPS concept in Java?
I know about the OOPS concept, ma'am. The 4 pillars in OOPS.
Okay. So I'll ask you people one by one, and then we will start our Java. After contacting the team, I will start teaching you people according to the roadmap. Okay. So open your mic. Abhishek, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Abhishek, what is the keyword that we use in Java in order to inherit methods from the parent class to the child class? The one will answer whom I am asking to, not others.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello.
Abhishek.
Ma'am, your voice
Hello.
is breaking.
Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible properly now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So only that student will answer me by opening their mic, whom I'll ask the question. The rest of you are not required to provide the answer in the chat box. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So Abhishek, tell me, which method that we have to mention in the child class in order to access all the variables that in the parent class.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question if possible?
Which method we
Okay.
have to mention in the child class in order to access the variables of the parent class?
Child. Extend, I guess.
I have asked you about the method, Abhishek.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second.
Abhishek, you can switch off your mic.
Yes.
No, dear. Anyone can answer? Kiran, you have to answer it. So let me provide you with a hint. Yeah, super method. Exactly. What do you mean by overloading? And this question I will ask to Harshit. What do you mean by overloading?
Overloading means while we are using the same function with the same variable. So on there we have to use overloading. To initialize that function is overloaded.
Can you provide an example scenario where you have to overload the function?
Yeah. First of all, we have to create a function with the variable just like int with one variable int a and int b. And then second time, and the function name is sum. And second time, while we are creating the same function sum, but we have to include three variable just like int a and int b and int c, just like that.
Harshit, at first tell me overloading. Uh, when do we overload a function?
Uh, when the same name functions will be overlapped.
In the
Uh,
same class or in different class?
in same class.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So how many of you agree with okay, all right. So in how many ways can we overload a function?
In two different ways, just like to change their variable name, just like first you just to declare an int, then second time you just to use float, double or char string, and then second time just to use two variable, and second time then you have to use two more than two variables, just like three and four, just like
All
that.
right. Okay. You can switch off your mic.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Sandhya, tell me, what do you mean by overriding?
Yes, ma'am. Overriding means with the same name, same number of parameters, but the implementation is different.
And can you give me an example scenario where you have to override a function?
When we have a different implementation methods, we can use that overriding method. Like for over uh, when we have a different implementation methods, like for Paytm we can use, for Paytm or PhonePe we can use. For PhonePe different implementation method will be there, and for another one different implementation method will be there. So for this we can use overriding method.
You can switch off your mic, Sandhya.
Yes.
Shubham, can you please open your mic?
Yes, yes.
So suppose inside a class I have mentioned a function to add a couple of variables. Got it?
Sorry to say, but ma'am, I'm not for a year like Java. I mean for one only.
So you are not
Like
having
I
any kind of knowledge in Java?
no, actually, like I studied during my graduation period, so like I had a little bit of knowledge which I shared in the chat when you asked the questions. That's all.
Okay. All right. Steffi, please switch on your mic. Steffi, are you there? Srushti, are you there? Srushti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, do you have any knowledge in Java? Oops.
Yes, I have little bit knowledge about it.
So, Srushti, tell me, I want a function to add a couple of variables, right? But on the other hand, what I want that function is to print hello. So, how can I do that?
Can you repeat it, ma'am?
In a class, I have mentioned a function in order to perform perform the addition of a couple of variables. But inside the output, I want that function to provide me with the output hello. How can I do that?
Sorry, ma'am, I don't know.
Okay. So I can see that many of you people are not having up to the mark knowledge in Java. So I have to see the roadmap at first, which will be provided by the team to me, and then according to that, whoever will be interested in the Java development, I will start with the OOPS concept, then moving on to the Java Spring Boot and performing the code operations using Java Spring Boot. Any further doubts for today's class?
No, ma'am.
So if there are no any doubts with you people can leave the meeting.
Ma'am, about the MongoDB and the Postman, I have a little bit knowledge about that. I have not have fully have no knowledge in that both sectors, ma'am.
So Arvind, whatever I have taught people in today's class, you got some kind of knowledge in both of those things, like how to use them in order to prepare the backend of the website.
Ma'am, I'm a little bit, and I am gonna watch the YouTube recorded version also, ma'am, to clearly understand it.
I explained each and everything to you people by in today's class. Didn't you listen?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm new to this backend, so I want to like rewatch this recorded session to learn clearly.
So you got in your head clear, na? Whichever thing I told you people in the class, which function performs what kind of task, and why are we using what kind of function inside the code. Are you clear with that?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm clear with that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, ma'am. I have a doubt in like how to like paste the URL in the MongoDB. That's the doubt I have in this class.
So just do one thing, go to YouTube and watch how to get your Mongo URI. Only then you people will be able to get the required output. Otherwise, you people will not be able to do anything in the backend. Harshit, please watch a YouTube video and get the MongoDB URI. Maybe people can leave the meeting if there are no any further doubts.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
All right.